Being over just halfway through the 2022 NFL season, we've got a chance to see all the rookies play. Some have been complete flops, and some have been downright amazing. Today, we're covering the top 10 best rookies of the 2022 NFL season so far. Number 10, Drake London. Drake London was taken 8th overall by the Atlanta Falcons and has been pretty underwhelming, but good enough to make this list. London was taken as the first receiver in the draft ahead of some pretty good talent. So far this season, he's topped 400 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Falcons offense, although London is playing on a team that has a questionable quarterback as well as a decent run game. Overall, Drake London hasn't been doing amazing, but he isn't a flop. He's good enough to make the top 10. Number 9, Devin Lloyd. For the first 4 games of the NFL season, the linebacker Devin Lloyd could have been considered one of the best linebackers in the NFL, but he's been slowing down these past few games. Just recently, he only accounted for 1 tackle against the Raiders in a game where the Jaguars actually won. Even though the performance against the Raiders was underwhelming to say the least, he's still performing at an NFL level. For only being taken 27th overall in the first round by the Jags, he's pretty impressive. Devin Lloyd has been the Jags' top defensive player throughout the season, being able to stop the run and the pass game. He is definitely an asset to the Jaguars and a big piece in reviving this franchise. Number 8, Jack Jones. Taken 121st overall in the 4th round by the New England Patriots, the cornerback Jack Jones has been a menace to receivers. With 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 19 tackles, I would say the Patriots definitely got what they wanted out of their 4th rounder. Matching up against Jack Jones isn't anywhere near as scary as Trayvon Diggs or Patrick Peterson, but he's still a pretty competent receiver, being able to lock down just about anyone brought his way. Not to mention, he also had a pick 6 against the Packers in Week 4. Jack Jones has been an amazing asset to the Patriots and has definitely impressed the league. There's a lot more to come from this young corner. Number 7, Aiden Hutchinson. The former Michigan defensive end was taken 2nd overall by the Detroit Lions last spring and was expected to be one of the best. Now, Hutchinson isn't the best, but he's also not bad at all. There's a reason why he's 7th on the list, but he probably won't ever make top 100 in the league this year. Aiden has started the season strong, topping 20 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and an interception against the Packers in Week 9. These aren't groundbreaking stats, but he's definitely doing his job, and I'm not going to discredit him for that. But he isn't living up to his number 2 draft pick. You'd expect a lot more out of a top 3 draft pick. He just isn't there yet. If there was a redraft right now, Aiden Hutchinson would probably go more in the top 15 rather than the top 3. He isn't out of time yet, but the window to make for a great rookie season is slowly closing, and if he doesn't start playing better, he might not even make this list by the end of the season. Rookie mistakes aside, Hutchinson is a very good player and has a lot to look forward to going forward. He definitely is going to be one of the best defensive players in the league, just not this year. Number 6, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was taken 10th overall by the New York Jets. He was taken right behind Drake London and was the 2nd receiver taken in the entire draft. Garrett Wilson has been pretty impressive on a decent team and has definitely outperformed Drake London and is just behind Chris Olave. Wilson currently has 42 receptions for 521 yards with 2 touchdowns. This makes him on track for 79 receptions and 984 yards with 4 touchdowns. That puts him in a position to possibly get a 1,000-yard season as a rookie. He has been pretty consistent so far this season, with the exception of an 8-yard game in Week 6 against the Packers, where it's mostly a defensive game. Garrett Wilson is not only one of the top rookies this season, he is one of the top players in the league. With an amazing start to his career, there is only more to come. Number 5, Chris Olave. Chris Olave was taken 11th overall by the New Orleans Saints. He was the 3rd receiver taken behind Drake London at 8th overall and Garrett Wilson at 10th overall. Out of all the receivers in the draft, Olave has been the most impressive. Even with a concussion sidelining him for a game, he has still done more than the rest of the receivers. The least amount of yards in a single game he's had is 41 on his NFL debut. Even Justin Jefferson has a 3-catch, 14-yard game. Chris Olave also has 2 100-plus yard games with 2 touchdowns. All of this makes him on pace for 91 receptions and 1,402 yards with 6 TDs to end the season. And keep in mind, he has done all this with bad quarterbacks while only being 22 years old. When Chris Olave is called on, he is making the plays time and time again. Number 4, Tariq Woolen. Woolen was picked 153rd overall in the 5th round, so for him to be this high on the list is really impressive. The Seahawks were in desperate need of getting their defense back in line after the release of Bobby Wagner, and they've definitely done a good job so far. With 2 rookie corners playing the majority of defensive snaps, you'd expect their defense to be giving up a lot, and that was the case for the first 4 games of the season. After winning against the Lions 48-45, it was pretty obvious that their defense needed to be better, and after that game, it has been. Like I said, they started out the season pretty bad, ranked 31st overall through the first 4 games. But in weeks 5 through 7, they've ranked 1st place in the NFL for defense. Now this means they're ranked in total in the middle of the NFL, but are currently the best. This couldn't have been done without Tariq Woolen. With a whopping 28 tackles, 5 interceptions, and a touchdown on a pick 6, Tariq is good, really good. He's been so good that he's been completely outperforming the 109th overall pick, Kobe Bryant. Kobe was supposed to be the best corner on the team, but it turned out to be Tariq Woolen. The Seahawks have a lot to look forward to in the young defense. Huge amount of respect towards the Seahawks front office. Number 3, Kenneth Walker. Once again, a Seahawk is on this list. I'm starting to think that their front office has some sort of time machine. Anyways, Kenneth Walker was drafted 41st overall in the 2nd round by the Seattle Seahawks. The whole plan was to have their 4th-year running back Rashad Penny take most of the reps and slowly bring Kenneth Walker into the mix, but that plan ended when Penny fractured his fibula versus the Saints early in the season. This ended up working out for the Seahawks. Nothing against Rashad Penny, but K9 is much better. Kenneth Walker hits holes like a bulldozer and runs around the defense like they're high schoolers. He currently has 587 yards for 121 attempts with 7 touchdowns. He averages a whopping 4.9 yards per carry. To put that in perspective, Derrick Henry averages 4.6 per carry this season. Kenneth Walker is going to be a star in Seattle for many years to come. Number 2, Sauce Gardner. The Jets always have a high 1st round pick and they usually waste it, but this time they struck gold with Sauce Gardner. In man coverage, Sauce has given up under 30 yards and 0 touchdowns. That's just insane. Overall, he's been targeted 46 times and given up 20 receptions, resulting in 189 yards and a touchdown, which is really good for an NFL corner, let alone a rookie. On top of that, he has 2 interceptions. When quarterbacks target Sauce Gardner, he gives up an average of 44.4 passer rating. For perspective, if a quarterback got the snap and threw the ball into the ground every single play, their passer rating would be just above 30. So for him to give up 44 is just beyond insane. Sauce Gardner is on track for the best defensive rookie of the year, and rightfully so. Sauce is only going to get better. The Jets have finally found a good player. And what you've all been waiting for, number 1, Damien Pierce. So far this season, it looks like the Texans haven't improved much from last year, but unlike last year, this year they have a few things to look forward to. One thing to look forward to is Damien Pierce, who was taken by the Texans in the 4th round at pick 107. The Texans needed a good running back more than anything, but they also needed a defense. They also needed just about every position ever exist. That's why they drafted a running back in the 4th round instead of the 1st round, but with how good Damien Pierce is, you might as well call him a 1st rounder. So far, he has 165 carries for 772 yards with 3 touchdowns, averaging 4.7 a carry. Once again, Derrick Henry averages 4.6 a carry. On top of that, he has 22 receptions for 126 yards and a touchdown. Pierce has had an outstanding start to the season, to say the least, and with a team that is rebuilding, he seems to be the star. Damien Pierce is going to be the Texans' best player for years to come. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching Beyond the End Zone. If you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to hit like and subscribe. I'll see you guys all in the next video.